Welcome to Sunday Interview. I'm Franklin Tembo Jr. The Smart Zambia is an e-government division under the Office of the President, mandated to provide e-government to the public service for improved service delivery. The institute was established through a government gazette notice number 836 of 2016. The government established Smart Zambia Institute, launched by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, on the 22nd of October 2015, in a bid to have a digital-driven economy by 2030. Is the Smart Zambia campaign feasible in this country, going by the communication and technological challenges that are coupled by high illiteracy levels? To answer this and more questions is Dr. Martine Mtonga, who is my guest this evening. He's a national coordinator, and he was also the Deputy Secretary to Cabinet e-Government. Welcome to Sunday Interview.
Thank you, Franklin, and it's a pleasure to be with you this evening.
Let's start off by looking at the feasibility of the Smart Zambia campaign with the limited infrastructure that currently, reflects at the moment.
Yeah, Franklin, yes, we would call it limited infrastructure, but government of late has invested quite a lot in infrastructure within itself. So what the president said at that time when he was launching Smart Zambia, to say we are going to embrace e-government so that we have a digital Zambia and also we have a Smart Zambia by 2030, then we started saying that we are going to start with what is within government so that we can clean up within government-to-government operations. Then we expand. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a bit that has been done as regards to infrastructure within government. Mm-hmm. Later on, maybe I'll elaborate, but this is being rolled out throughout the country. We are going into all the provinces, we are going into all the districts. Right. And the Lusaka here, quite a bit has been done.
We're hosting you for the first time, I think, on Sunday Interview.
Yes.
Why are you the right man? Why are you the right man for the job? Who is Dr. Mtonga?
Well, I'm the right man for the job because the president saw it fit that he appointed me. I've worked quite a lot in the private sector, and I've also worked in the academic institutions. And Dr. Mtonga is somebody who has gone through the mill of computer science in the olden days, and also into the ICTs. And tertiary education started with studying mathematics and computer science. Thereafter studied for a master's degree in information technology, and then thereafter a PhD in doing business using ICTs.
Right. Having said that, what makes you think the Smart Zambia initiative can work amidst a lot of doubt that this is just perhaps a political ploy?
What makes it can work is that it's happening somewhere. We are not reinventing the wheel. Other countries have embraced technology, and we are not there to remain behind. And we have started also embracing technology as a country, and it is working. It has started working. I'll give you examples later on as we go on with the interview, how it has started working here in Zambia.
This is not just politics?
Not at all. No, it's not politics, because it is even making maybe our politicians do their work easier now using ICTs.
Are they embracing it as fast as you wish they should?
Very fast. They're embracing it very fast. Franklin, to tell the truth, I'll give you an example. His Excellency challenged us in Smart Zambia in his division to say, I want cabinet to be electronic. And boom, we tested it, we developed it in-house here in the country for a period of about 8 months. We were developing it. Then last year in October to November, we did pilot tests. And today the whole cabinet is paperless. For the last 10 months, it has been operating without a single piece of paper in it.
I see. Now
that is at a very high political level. As you know, cabinet is the highest meeting in the country, say cabinet meeting. Now, if cabinet can be electronic, it means our politicians have really embraced it. From His Excellency himself to our honor, and to all his ministers. It only took them 3 to 4 weeks to learn how to do electronic cabinet. And all of them today, they are using electronic cabinet. All the honorable ministers are using electronic cabinet. All they carry is just a tablet like this. But it has also brought in some advantages. And these advantages are, one, cabinet now is quite very fast. I think you have seen that immediately after cabinet meeting is done, thereafter maybe a statement is issued. Previously, those conveyances who have to go to cabinet office, they start typing, they start printing and so on. Today, immediately after cabinet meeting, our policy analysts log in and the conveyances are done electronically, and the chief government spokesperson is out there issuing the statement the same day that cabinet met. But not only that also, it has also brought in what we're calling efficiency, in the sense that ministers are able to read the documents that are in the cabinet system earlier than before, where they have to carry suitcases, messengers have to deliver suitcases. I'll give you an example, Franklin, what used to happen previously. For cabinet to take place, not less than 20 reams of paper were used, printing. Just one cabinet meeting, 20 reams of paper. And then you go and deliver those. Messengers have to run around the whole night delivering those documentations. Security was not really cardinal that time now, because they could be attacked and the suitcases may be grabbed from them. What happens? It means cabinet information is leaked. But since we introduced electronic cabinet, because of the challenge that His Excellency gave us, that is no longer there, because we don't deliver these things to,
in fact,
to the
it might be to the contrary. There seems to be more leakages now than there used to be before.
Really?
It was, there's frequency of government top documents being leaked to the public through various social media than before. Would you then say that, if you agree, that technology perhaps is not as good as it's supposed to be for sensitive places like cabinet or government in general?
To the contrary, Franklin, from January to today, this is November, there has been no cabinet leakage. You can challenge me to say, in this month there was a cabinet leakage this year. No, since we introduced electronic cabinet, there's no cabinet leakage. Maybe you're talking of other government leakages, but not from the cabinet side. Aren't
they as important?
They are, but I'm talking of, we are discussing cabinet now, right now. There's been no cabinet leakage as it was previously. But now there's no cabinet leakage because we are able to track any movement of cabinet documentation in the system. We can tell. We can even tell who has leaked it, if it has leaked. So cabinet leakage, that one is not there. Social vices that people are leaking other government documentation, not from the cabinet. Not from the cabinet. No, that I deny 100%. There's been no cabinet leakage.
Let's move on, if that holds true, yes, that there is no cabinet leakage or other leakages as well. What are you doing then to ensure that that doesn't happen? Because there is information that filters through before, not for public consumption, but it does filter through. Cabinet, let's hold cabinet on one side. Generally. General
government. Yeah, that one, that's why we are rolling out a lot of ICT infrastructure in government, the one which I was talking about, like government to government. What we have done is that the infrastructure that we are rolling out in ministries, we have started with core ministries, agriculture, health, education. These are the largest ministries that we have. And with the infrastructure that we are rolling out, we are doing it. I'm not saying that we are planning to do, but what we are currently doing, we are rolling out in this. All those things now will be getting nabbed bit by bit. I'll come and talk about something that we just discovered yesterday, something that was happening in Ministry of Agriculture. And somebody tried to be funny in one of the districts in Northern Province. And we were able to trace that person in our system yesterday. And we were able to suspend them to doing operations which the government had told them to do. So all those, the systems are catching up. And the beauty is that security measures have been put in place from the government point of view.
There's a lot of talk about corrupt tendencies, bureaucratic approaches to service delivery. Could this be the solution?
It could be a very good solution, and it is going to be a very good solution.
How?
Because systems will curb such vices. The challenge that we have from His Excellency is that, let's put in this, he's fighting that corruption very, very systematically using ICT systems. He's fighting it very, very systematically because we are able to trace the people now. We are able to trace those collapsed elements that the ones you are talking about, using such systems that we are putting in place. Maybe I should just open the collapsed system that we discovered yesterday. I should talk about it. In one district in Northern Province, the e-voucher system now, you know that it is on now. I'm happy to announce that I can tell the nation that this is today is what, 17th November, and we opened the deposits for the farmers on 25th January. So that's about 24 days plus ago. Within 3 weeks, we have already hit the half mark. As at yesterday, 514,000 farmers out of 1 million had deposited their contribution, the 400 kwacha contribution. That means that after you deposit, you are now able to go and redeem. So redemptions have started in the country. People are redeeming, getting their inputs. But there's one gentleman who connived with one agro dealer in that particular district. And what he did is that he has got money himself, and he paid for his relatives the 400 kwacha contribution. He paid for his relatives, and in the system we saw that Mtonga has paid, Tembo has paid, Basela has paid under a certain cooperative. Then time to redeem is supposed to be Mtonga, is supposed to be Tembo to go and correct the inputs. But what did he do? He went together with, I think, the chairperson of that cooperative to the agro dealer, and they redeemed the inputs. But our system is clever enough. Immediately you redeem, it sends a message to the owner. Because we have been encouraging to say, as you are registering, also if you have got a mobile phone, register it so that we capture it in the system. If you don't have maybe your child or your spouse, register that mobile phone. Immediately you correct your inputs, and it has gone through the system. And immediately the system sends you a message to say, thank you for redeeming your inputs. We hope you put them to good use, and so on. So 7 farmers received those messages that they have redeemed.
Isn't that a cause of worry then? Because it does mean that those 7 farmers could have been alert, but could be many other farmers who might not realize it maybe for a long time to come, because the education hasn't yet reached them. The illiteracy levels in this country.
The education hasn't reached them that much, but all the farmers, when you are going to deposit, what happens is that you go through the district agriculture coordinator's office and get those details and all the change management component of it. But what I'm trying to say is that the system has got security enough, so when that was done, it was immediately reported.
Right.
And when it was reported, we were able to check in the system, and we discovered who it was, and we discovered which agro dealer. And in the system, quickly we suspended that agro dealer, and we informed the DAGO that go to this agro dealer. He's doing something malpractice.
So doesn't that tell you then that this is agriculture, one component of the economy, but there are other sectors that are happening, and it would appear to me that many people will suffer the consequences of these smart people, hackers, crooks, before you fully roll out, you know, this Smart Zambia. Are you moving too slow for the advancements that technology comes along with? Aren't people risking their investments, their money? Are you at that pace to protect the ordinary Zambian out there?
We are at that pace. What government did with the same infrastructure, they had to create what we call the Zambia National Data Center. You might have heard of it. We have a Tier 3 data center which is meeting all the standards that we have in the world. It's ISO 9001 certified. So because of that, it means we have put in measures that meet the international standards, the International Standards Organization. And because of those measures, which we have put in, it means our infrastructure is built. What we are now supposed to roll out, and which we are doing, is the change management component of it, to answer the issue of race. Because change management is very, very important. Technology is new, and Zambia is embracing it, and we have created a department in Smart Zambia which looks at planning, and in that planning we have monitoring and evaluation, and in that monitoring and evaluation we also have change management. And this now is going around all the ministries. all our ministries, all our officers in the ministries, we are doing change management so that they should adapt to these new signs which we are bringing to them, new symptoms which we are bringing to them, and these symptoms relate to ICTs.
But the vulnerable person is a person in the far-flung rural areas who doesn't have access to a smartphone or to a computer. That should be a problem, surely. That should be giving you sleepless nights.
Now, the people who give government service are the government workers whom we have started doing the change management. Then, that is a component which we're calling government to government. But we also have got a component that we're calling government to citizens. Now, this is enabling the way government deals with its citizens. And that now will filter to our rural areas. I'll give you an example. Together with our colleagues in the Ministry of Transport and Communication, you might have heard that government has rolled out the infrastructure on connectivity. We are currently putting out 1,009 towers. 1,009 towers are going up. I think now we are around 400 towers that are going up. By 2019, Zambia will be about 96 to 98% connected by population. It means the whole country will be connected. We had 2 districts which were totally zero connected, Lunga and Mitete. They have started with those districts. Now there's some signal there. And if we finish the 1,009 towers, which are Honorable Mshimba and his team and the engineer Lungu, PS Lungu at the Transport and Communication, they are working on tirelessly together with us. We are exchanging notes. Then we'll be 98% connected. Then it means it's done. It means our most vulnerable person there in the rural area is covered. So that challenge of connectivity will be gone. But this is just in the next 12 months.
Surely, when you have schools, for example, that have to queue up to write an exam because they're not adequate computers, it means that there is a problem of quick rollout. Technology is like, in a good sense, a fast-ripping cancer. We cannot go back. That's where the world is. Are you certain that you're moving at the right pace? If today, in many parts, schools, for example, don't have adequate computers, what are you doing aggressively to quickly roll out?
Yeah, we are very aggressive on that rollout. I was having a meeting with the Permanent Secretary at Ministry of General Education, Dr. Piri, Felix Piri, and we have just signed an agreement with Smart Zambia. Under Smart Zambia Phase 2, we are rolling out very, very big on Ministry of General Education. We are going to cover a lot of schools. You know that the government has put up a policy that ICTs is an examinable module or an examinable subject in lower secondary, up to grade 9. You have to be examined. So it's compulsory from grade 1 to grade 9 because you have to be examined. But what we have done is that there is a component in Smart Zambia Phase 2 which the government has started rolling out. And in here, we will have massive, and we are going to have massive because we have just signed that, and they have just signed what we're calling high-level design for that computerization. By January, I think, we should be receiving something like 77,500 computers, which are going for primary schools across the country.
77,000?
77.
That's not enough.
It is. It will be enough in the beginning. It will be enough because you have to start from somewhere. We can't have enough capacity to roll out in full. Currently, they are still managing with whatever retail they have. But if we roll out those, it will cover something and we'll be going somewhere because we are not leaving everything behind. We have to have.
And this is as government?
Yes, this is as government.
What happened to PPPs? Why are you moving so slow? You've got private players out there.
Let me tell you something that has happened on the PPPs. Our government has just finalized, and this is coming under the Industrial Development Corporation. Under the Industrial Development Corporation, we are having now to set up in the multi-facility economic zone here in Lusaka, we are setting up what we're calling a computer assembly plant for Zambia, and this will drastically reduce the price of ICTs, computers in Zambia. And this is coming in a PPP, a computer assembly plant. So all computers, all these ICTs will be assembled locally, and it means the price will be very, very low.
Let's look at what you have seemed to have. You seem to have broken barriers on the e-pay slips with 109 civil servants captured so far. However, how is this panning out for those in rural areas with no access at all to the internet?
Yeah, the e-payslip has done quite very well. That module has done quite very well, and we have captured 202,000 as at October payroll out of 209,000. I was talking about it in Parliament the other day. I was talking about the same when I appeared before Honorable Kunda and his PAC team, the Parliamentary Accounts Committee team. They asked me a question on that, just like the way you've done. Now, the e-payslip, what we did is that we gave time to our civil servants across the country through their district administrative offices and to capture them. Within 1 year, from August last year to this year, we have managed to capture 202,000. It's supposed that we are supposed to have 209,000 government workers on the payroll. Now there are 7,000 remaining. Maybe part of these could be in education or could be in health in the ruralmost areas. But what we did, because you don't necessarily need to have a computer to receive a payslip, we have configured it in such a way that on your phone you can receive it. We have configured it in such a way that it's very easy. It's a PDF file. You get credentials of how to open your payslip to yourself, and it can come on your phone. That's how we have managed to capture all these 202,000. But also what it has done to us is that it has managed to make us headcount government workers. Because for you to be captured, you have to submit certain parameters. And these parameters have to be submitted by you personally. You have to submit certain required government parameters, and they have to be submitted by you.
Are you talking about eliminating ghost workers?
Yes. We have also used it to do that. We have also used it to do that, and we have also used it to ensure that the people who are getting paid are in their correct positions. Because you can be a teacher. You say you are supposed to be in Kasempa, and yet you are based in Lusaka. But when you are submitting that, it has to indicate that you are in Kasempa.
What makes you think this system is foolproof?
We can't, ICT systems, you can't say they are 100% foolproof. From my background as an ICT person, a computer person, ICT system world over, they are not foolproof. But we have tried to make them foolproof to our capacity. So I cannot say that every ICT system is foolproof. You heard recently what happened in Britain with the health system there. This is a developed country. It was not foolproof. So I cannot say, yes, it is foolproof. But to our capacity, it is, yes.
Have you overpromised the president with regards to the potential success of this initiative?
It's not promising him. It's doing.
He wants to leave a legacy.
Yes, and you remember when he was swearing me in, he said ICTs want to be my legacy as well.
Right.
And
are you under pressure to make sure that happens?
We are not.
But are you certain that he will leave that legacy?
He's already doing it.
Are you not overpromising?
No, we are not promising him. He's already doing it. He's doing it in the sense that things are working. I'll give you an example.
He's appointed you.
Yeah.
It's you to do it. He's appointed. You are the expert. Are you sure that you will deliver according to his expectation? He might not be as savvy as you are. I'm sure he appreciates technology, but you're the expert. You know what the truth is. You know what the impediments are, and there's a time frame. Are you certain that that is going to be delivered?
Yes. What we did is that immediately I came in, I got my management team, said, gentlemen and lady, let's sit down and draw up Smart Zambia master plan. We drew up a Smart Zambia master plan, and then we set our milestones. From this period to this period, we should achieve this. From this period to this period, we should achieve this. And then we have to get the 7th National Development Plan. Said, let's realign it. Does it fit into the 7th National Development Plan? Then we had to realign it, and it fitted in now. We look at the sectors, which are the priority sectors that government has said that they want these sectors to move very quickly. We had to realign also the Smart Zambia plan to that, and we are moving like that. So there's nothing like now we are promising, but we are going with what the government has envisaged to go. So we are moving very smoothly. We are not beating about the bush, or we are not doing things haphazardly, but we are following the plans that we have set. And by meeting those milestones, it means we are achieving what we have set.
As far as this year is concerned, your target, what percentage, what would you give yourself? Where are you? 50%, 40?
We have just started. We have just started, so we are around 40%, because we are just about maybe a year plus in actual implementation. But I'll give you this. We had set that we will need this year to hit 100 government institutions. But with the challenges here and there, we have done 71 institutions. We have done 71 institutions, which we have fully integrated. 71 government institutions. We thought we would be hitting 100, but we have done 71% for this year, for our target of this year. Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you think this is going to do regards red tape, bureaucracy, and just you know, slot adaptation? Some people will adapt, some may not adapt. It might be frustrating to your, in as far as your agenda is concerned. How do you think this is going to work for you?
Yes, sometimes red tape frustrates. But with the systems that we are rolling out, I'll tell you frankly, today, the Secretary to Cabinet can even know when I'm on my desk and when I'm not on my desk from his own office. I can also know with our directors in the offices that this documentation was sent to Director B and it's now 2 days he hasn't worked on it. Then I can raise a red flag. So that red tape is being cut. And because of that, it's cutting all bureaucratic ways of running business. So it's not business as usual in government anymore. It's not business as usual in government anymore, because we're able to trace each other. We're able to trace where an impediment is. Yeah.
Are there limitations to how far you should go with regards taking over, quote unquote, the old system? Are there certain ceilings that you're putting to your operations, to your rollout?
Yes, yes. We can't say that we will disband everything that was there, which is conventional government way of doing business. Yes, there are priority areas which we have put. Certain areas we said, no, not this. This should continue, because there are some things which you can still need. You still need to use paper. But there are some things which we say, this can be done electronically. Yes, so we have a limitation on that.
Tell us again, you mentioned the amount of money that you've saved through reducing of printing. I'm told you're able to save, what 72 million? Is there more money? That
Which one? 72 million. 72 million was saved on pay slips. What used to happen initially is this. When running a payroll, to run payroll for 209,000 workers, to print pay slips for them, it could take more than a week. Day and night, the machines are just running and running. But now what happens is that when payroll has been done from Ministry of Finance, then Smart Zambia captures the cash book from the Accountant General's office, and when the cash book is captured, immediately it's converted into pay slips, and those pay slips are transmitted. So there's no delivery cost, there's no printing cost. We used to spend about 72 million kwacha. We have reduced that cost to zero. So government has saved that money from 72 million kwacha to zero ngwe. It means now the Ministry of Finance, together with the other spending agencies, they are able to send that money to other sectors. Yes, we have saved 72 million kwacha on electronic paper.
In the Auditor General's report, is that something that has been reflected?
Or savings like that don't necessarily reflect, because that money was supposed to be spent. Now, if you check in the Smart Zambia, what do you call it, Smart Zambia budget, if you go and check the budget that was just presented on the production of pay slips, you'll see 00 ngwe. It means if last year we were supposed to budget 72 million kwacha, now it's 00 ngwe. Yeah, that's the reflection that would reflect. It would only reflect in the Auditor General's report if it was an anomaly. But this is not an anomaly, this is a saving. So it will show that a reduction by 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
but we also have got other major savings. Earlier on you talked about the electronic cabinet.
Right.
What has the electronic cabinet done? We used to spend 68 million kwacha per year to handle cabinet business. Now that has reduced by 85%, meaning that this time we are spending only 10.2. So the policy analysis and coordination department in cabinet office now, their budget is now only 10.2 from 68 million. reduction by 85% because of bringing electronic governance in the cabinet way of doing business. So those are savings as well. It means that money now can go to other social sectors and so on, as could be decided by our policymakers.
It does seem to me, from the picture you're painting, that you're really moving fast with regards, ICTs and just being smart. What then should an ordinary person out there expect when they apply for, a passport or, the services that make one to line up or to have to pay someone to have to be served efficiently? Does the public understand that this is where government is at the moment?
You have raised a very good issue. What government has done now is that we have developed a government portal at Smart Zambia. We have developed a government portal. And this portal has been called e-Pamozi. We have a government portal called e-Pamozi. When His Excellency was opening Parliament in 2016, he talked about e-Pamozi. And it has been now actualized. So what happens is that all these services that are coming from government lines, will show on e-Pamozi. Be the services that PACRA is doing, be the services that ZPPA is doing if they're advertising for a tender and so, be the services that are being rolled out at Ministry of Home Affairs, maybe the Department of National Registration and Passport, be the services that are happening at the Immigration Department, be the services that are happening at ZRI. All those now will show on one portal. So wherever you are as a Zambian, if you have got access to any government website, I'll talk about that later, and you see somewhere, you log into Ministry of Commerce website, on the corner you'll see e-Pamozi. When you go there, you will see all the government services there. And you go on the e-Pamozi and you get all those government services. It's happening. I'm not saying that we're going to do this. When you go there and you see the service that you want, it will show you what you need to do. Maybe before you even move to Department of National Registration, it will tell you if you are going to get an NRC, prepare the following things. If you are going to get a passport, prepare the following things, or download it here. And
this is happening now?
Yes, it's happening. This is happening.
So how are Zambians supposed to know this if you're not loud about it?
We are loud. That's why you invited me to come here and start talking about this. So this is sensitization, which we are doing it.
Without this invitation, we will not hear from you.
Of late, I think you must have been seeing me. And what we have done is that now we have formed a squad of people who you will see a lot of their visibility talking about these same things, so that people know now the sensitization, because you can't just do sensitization if something is not there. We don't want to promise people. We want to tell people of what is happening. So like the way I'm saying it now, it is already happening. Now I can even talk about it.
And among the people that are watching you now and listening to you are the hackers, the crooks, the technically advanced, the tech-savvy people who can put up a fantastic-looking government portal, so to speak. Are you worried about that? What's the counter to that?
Yes, we are worried about that. We are worried about that. But we have a department in Smart Zambia called Quality Assurance and Security. And these are also people who are like those.
Right.
These are people who are like those. They are also tech-savvy. So these are the people who have put firewalls. Every day, we see intrusions. We are able to see the intrusions. Every day, we see attempts to intrude into the government system, and we are able to repel them.
Many Facebook accounts which are fake, purporting to be Minister X, Y, to some level, as high as the Vice President, and people they keep losing money, or they keep, and things like that. This has continued. What are you doing?
Together, the mandate, as you indicated in your opening remarks when you were introducing this program, our mandate is to harmonize and coordinate government systems. Now, for the external components like those, it falls under ZICTA. But I'm not trying to say that ZICTA should do it. Together with ZICTA and the Ministry of Transport and Communication, the other day I was having a meeting with the Honorable Mushimba. We have formed, I think you read in yesterday's paper, We have formed now a crack squad from Smart Zambia, from ZICTA, from other security wings. Now this crack squad, I think the ZICTA Director General mentioned the other day that we have brought down a certain number of fake Facebook pages. It's because of our concerted efforts. We are working together. Now, you've seen that the Facebook pages have reduced. I don't know if you have noticed that. The Facebook pages have reduced. Honorable Chitalu Chilufi, I think, had 12 or so Facebook pages. Now he's only running his official 1 Facebook pages, and so on. And Honorable Joe Malanchi, also when he was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs, had a certain number of Facebook pages. We have cracked on all those. It has reduced. So this, we are going there. We are even able to trace them. I think you have heard of some prosecutions, I think. Right. Yeah, some people have been prosecuted because we are able to track them. But it does
make people coil back into their conservative nature because it is safer. Yeah. They need guarantee and assurance that they're going to be safe. With all these happenings, and you're reporting success in curbing them, surely it might slow down, you know, the pace at which you want to roll out these ICTs.
Yeah, that's the problem of technology. Technology sometimes can scare you. But us who are charged with the responsibility of leading, of doing it, we don't have to sit back. We have to go on and push so that our people can really accept it. Long ago, people didn't want to use ICTs. But today people are using them, and we have to keep on pushing. And I've been talking with my colleagues at the office. We have been saying, gentlemen and lady, let's push. Let's push. And we are pushing, and we have seen it being accepted. We are seeing it being accepted. Initially, it was very difficult in government for people to accept. But now they are really accepting it. And we said, let's keep on pushing. By the end of the day, because our master plan is a 12-year master plan for the country. And it has got three different levels. The first level is 3 years. The second level is 5 years. And the last level is 2 years. By that time, we will totally be smart. So it's not something that we will do in a short possible time. And when we were discussing with His Excellency over the master plan, he said it's better to be very well focused. We didn't want to be ambitious to say we are going to do all these things in 3 years. No, no, no. We had to realign, and we had to set the milestones. So it's pushing. We have to push until people accept. I'll give you examples of some countries which took so long. Today, a country that is literally 100%, they're about 98% paperless, is Estonia. It took Estonia 22 years to reach the level which they are. As we have said, at least within 12 years, Zambia should be there as well.
As you do that, you want people to be friendly or to be used to the internet, for example. And unfortunately, internet services in this country are expensive. What are you doing to lower the cost
of internet? Government is trying to work and is working on to ensure that we push internet bandwidth to fiber. I think you have seen a lot of fiber connectivities going on, and that will really lower the cost. Because I'll give you the way we have lowered the cost of internet in government, inside government. Previously, the cost of internet in the whole government was 62 million kwacha per year. Now, what we did is that we brought in unified internet. You might have heard when His Excellency President Lungu was opening Parliament this year, he talked about unified internet has brought cost low in the way government now is using internet. Now, when we brought in unified internet...
What does that even mean?
What does it mean? Yes. What it means is that previously, every government ministry, every government department was procuring internet on their own in a silo arrangement. Ministry of Information procures internet. Ministry of Gender procures internet. Ministry of National Planning procures internet. When we put that all together, it was coming to 62 million kwacha per year. But we decided to say, no, this is expensive, and the speeds are at totally different levels. The internet speeds are at totally different levels. And that was an impediment to working. So we decided to say, okay, we'll procure internet in a unified way. So we procured internet from 2 service providers. One 800 megabits per second and another one 600 as a redundant line. Because we said if this line is down, there should be another line we should take over. One as the primary line and the second one as a redundant line, which was the secondary line, 600 megabits per second. And we put them together. It reduced the internet cost from 62 million kwacha to 28 million kwacha, saving 34 million kwacha per year. And what did we do? We said, okay, now we have procured this internet. What do we do now? Some ministries were using a pipe which was only handling 1 megabit per second. And that was so frustrating to the officers. Because, for example, if 10 officers have logged in at the same time, the speed totally drops. And what we did is said, no, I told my director infrastructure, can we upgrade with the little resources that we have saved? Now let's upgrade the bandwidth in the ministry. We upgraded the minimum bandwidth in a ministry now is about 10 megabits per second. But most of them we have upgraded 20 times. And now you don't even hear about government workers complaining about internet. And that will replicate into the other sectors. Because what happens is that since it's connecting to fiber, it means the speed goes very high. But the beauty is that fiber, the competition is going very, very steep. And that is reducing the cost. So internet costs are really reducing. That's why you have seen that today data bundles in Zambia are getting cheaper and cheaper. I don't know if you have noticed that. It's because of fiber. When they procure bulk, like the way now we are procuring bulk for government. And by the way, before I even move out of that, we are procuring bulk for government, 800 megabits per second from one, and another one 600 megabits per second. We put them together 1.4 megabits per second, or gigabits per second. And because of bulk, when I monitor in the system at the office at Smart Zambia, we are using about 60%. And we are saying, okay, we are using about 60%, so let's keep on adding more government ministries, more lines. These are the ones which I talked about earlier on, that this year we have added 71 from 29. Last year they were only 29, but we have moved to 71. And by next year, our target is that we should hit 200. And we are moving all this because we are at 60% usage. If we hit 80% usage when we monitor it, what happens is that during the day, when we monitor during the day, from 8 to 16 to 17, that's when we are hitting 60%.
And in this, you're not talking about Lusaka just?
No, we're talking about the whole country.
You're talking about the whole country?
Yes, we're talking about the whole country.
And when it comes to fiber, unfortunately, you have many instances where
fiber is cut.
What? That should be a problem, surely. Yeah. You must be concerned. Coordination with construction companies and local authority. Isn't that? We have put it now in our standards. So we have developed at Smart Zambia a standards document, which we have shared with the Minister of Infrastructure and which we are sharing with the Minister of Local Government. Any construction that is taking place now, there should be a DAC for fiber. So like the way government is constructing the big road going to the copper belt. Right. Now there's a DAC there. There's no more coming to dig where the fiber should pass. Every building that is now being constructed, they should be already trunking for fiber. That's a condition.
That's now a condition. Otherwise, if they don't do that, our colleagues will not approve them. Because we have shared, say, as Smart Zambia, this is what we want. So all these new roads now that you are seeing, there is a DAC for fiber, where fiber is going to pass. Right. So because it's really giving us a headache. I was in Mongu 2 weeks ago. Our provincial administration there is one of the provincial administration that we connected. Because all the provincial administration, we have connected them to fiber, to the government fiber. And what has happened is that we are calling this the government-wide area network. Right. The government-wide area network. This is covering the whole country we have connected. But in Mongu, what happened 2 weeks ago is that the fiber that Zamtel laid to our provincial administration was not even under. Now you can see fiber is under, but it was up there. And a big truck carrying sand, a private truck, just ripped it off. And then our offices were down. Now we have to look for resources to go and redo that fiber. 2 days ago, I think we have seen at Ministry of Finance, they are constructing a car park there. And the contractor who's doing that didn't realize that there's fiber which is passing from there to Zicta. They also hit it. And it cut, and some ministries went down. It had to take us 2 days to see where it was cut, because we have gadgets which we use to measure, to say where it is cut. So as a condition now, for any new work, we have put it there. They have to put those ducts.
There's the issue of vandalism, which you will have to contend with. Utility companies like ZESCO have long suffered vandalism. And it might not go away just yet.
Truly, yes, it might not go away just yet, but I think the issue will be sensitization. We have to keep on sensitizing our people not to vandalize. I've seen ZESCO yesterday, the ZESCO spokesperson was on TV, I think, talking also about Mkalao, Mongu, where the pylons were brought down by vandals. And we just have to keep on sensitizing our people that this is government infrastructure. Let's not damage it. Let's preserve it. And if you notice that there's somewhere infrastructure has been damaged, I think it's best to quickly report to our law enforcement agencies or any agency that is nearby who can take a remedial action.
What for you will be success? I mean, you will not be, unless otherwise, this target's 2030. But what for you, as you're in office, will be success, will be deliverable for you?
Deliverables are what is coming out, reducing costs in the way government is operating, bringing out efficiency. And when government becomes efficient, it means it's effective to its people. Because governments are there to service the people. So when government is effective, it means the services are being delivered.
What's frustrating you in this exercise?
Currently, I can't say that we are getting frustrated.
Surely, there's no perfect system.
Yes, but I can't say that it's there.
The president will understand. Don't worry. He will understand. If you have frustrations, what are the frustrations?
Currently, I would say most of frustrations will come up maybe, like to me as an individual, sometimes we don't meet our target. We would have said that by this year we should meet this target. But also, the biggest frustration that I'm facing together with my team is resistance. Government workers are resisting some of these systems because they want to be doing the odd way.
Right.
Odd way. So that, to me, I would say maybe that's the biggest frustration that I face, is the resistance.
Right.
Yeah, but the Secretary to Cabinet the other day was talking to me. He called me for a meeting with our colleagues from Health Professionals Council.
Right.
And the Higher Education Authority. Remember, they had that problem. Then the Secretary to Cabinet says, can you talk to these people? Can't they develop systems that can counter-check with each other? And I said, okay, sir, thank you very much. I formed up a team on business applications and say, let's develop a system. Let's work on a system that you guys, you start talking to each other, then the systems will be checking each other.
Right.
And those are such frustrations which come in sometimes.
Right. As we close, you have a very, very huge responsibility. With the challenges that, you have highlighted, with the, the desire that you have to truly make Zambia become smart, do you have priority areas in the immediate short term which you want to really roll out?
Yes, we have priority areas. What we did first was to ensure that the central administration is done. Meaning, like, if you have a cabinet office in Ndola, the provincial administration, cabinet office in Eastern, cabinet office in Mongu, cabinet office in Choma, we quickly had to roll out, because every government business, when it goes to the rural areas, it reaches first where? The provincial administration, the cabinet office in the rural area. So that we have finished. It was a priority. Now, what are we going to hit now? Now we have gone now to Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture, and Ministry of Health. So those are the priority areas. I'll tell you on Ministry of Health, I don't know if you followed, about 2 months ago, the president was launching the first paperless hospital in Zambia. I don't know if you followed it. In Chipata. He launched the new Chipata district hospital, is purely paperless. From the time you come in at reception, at the OPD, to the time you are leaving at the pharmacy, it is paperless. Now, what happens is that what Smart Zambia did together with Honorable Chitalo and his team at Ministry of Health is this. We picked out 4 hospitals, Chipata Hospital, Newborn and Women Hospital at UTH, Livingstone General Hospital, and the Arthur Davison Hospital in Ndola. We picked these 4. We said, let's pilot to make these hospitals paperless. And we have piloted them, and it is working. What happens is that now when you register, your file doesn't move. No file is written. The doctor doesn't do that. No file is written. You go into the consulting room where the doctor is. He asks you for your medical number. And he punches in, and all your records, your pulse already comes out, your BP comes out, your weight, your height, and then he interviews you. You do the consultation. He sends you to the laboratory for test. When you go into the laboratory for test, you just take your number. The lab tech goes through that. He knows now what to test up to the time when you are going to the pharmacy. And when you get into the pharmacy, what happens? You just take your card there, and the pharmacist will just look at it, and he knows what to prescribe to you. And what he has, what to give you, what was prescribed to you. He dispenses that medicine, and immediately it ties it to the stores. And the stores now knows that so much Panadol has gone out. And by the end of the day, that will be tied to medical stores. And medical stores will know now that Kanyama Hospital now needs the foreign drugs. And that has worked. So now we have started now connecting now rural health centers. So the president guided us to say, okay, the first thing you should do is that let's do all the provincial medical centers. Then after that, we roll out to the district medical centers. Because the pilot has worked, and he says now this can work. So that is the next priority area, is health. What we are trying to do is that we have to stop, for example, Franklin, if you were in Mporokoso and you are foreign sick here in Lusaka, previously it means your file has to come from Mporokoso to here. But now we have used 2 primary fields, your medical number and your national registration card. Right. So if they punch in your national registration card at UTH, all your medical history comes, and then they can know how to treat you. But what also it has brought now is medical confidentiality for a patient now, because the system is able to track who has accessed. Previously, somebody will just get your folder and read about you and close it. But this time, if Dr. Mtonga accessed your medical records and there's something that has happened, we are able to say Dr. Tembo is the one who checked your medical records previously. Dr.
Mtonga, I just want to thank you so much for this particular opportunity. That which you've just described really does sound smart. Good luck in making Zambia smart. Thank you for coming for Sunday interview.
Thank you very much, Franklin. It was my pleasure.
Okay. And that's it on Sunday interview for today. I've been a chat with Dr. Martine Mtonga, National Coordinator and Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet, E-Government. This has been Sunday interview. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.